Alrighty folks, well, welcome back to yet another episode of Maksim Outdoors. This is part 2 from none other than Ohiopyle State Park, possibly one of the most beautiful state parks in the entire Commonwealth. If you missed last week, we hiked most of the Ferncliff Peninsula where I'm standing at now. We started over there. You can see Chris's truck. And speaking of Chris, we are back here with none other than Hiking with Ricky. So you're probably getting sick of seeing his face by now. He's in practically all of my videos, but yeah, how you feeling today? You ready to do another 2 miles or so?
Absolutely, I feel great. I feel like I can go another 10 miles if I wanted.
So yeah, we're standing here along the Allegheny River. You can see the visitor center. We're actually gonna be traversing all the way down to that bridge off in the distance, crossing another bridge onto the Gap Trail, the Greater Allegheny Passage, which runs from Pittsburgh to Cumberland, Maryland, I believe. Doing a little bit of that and then heading onto the the Gorge Trail, and we'll be all the way up there and heading all the way back down. It sounds a lot longer than 2 miles, but apparently it's not. So we'll leave you with this beautiful view of Ohiopyle Falls, and yeah, welcome to an all new episode of Maksim Outdoors. So let's get hiking. Alrighty folks, well, part 2 starts here. We have ventured our way up the old Allegheny River, a few hundred feet from where you saw us before. We were just on that rock ledge, but we are now above the massive Ohiopyle Falls. You can see Chris off in the distance there, giving you a good size comparison just how massive this waterfall is. Definitely one of the more impressive waterfalls in all of Pennsylvania, and definitely western Pennsylvania. But just a beautiful February day. It feels like spring out here. Beautiful weather with another fellow YouTuber. Check him out, Hiking with Ricky. And here's some more views of the rapids here along the old Yacht. You definitely don't want to fall in there. It would pretty much be game over for you. You can see all the driftwood that gets washed on down the river here. It's definitely higher than I normally seen. But if you missed it in part 1, I've been to this park a million times, and every time I've seen this waterfall was from those platforms. I've never been on this side of the fall, so pretty remarkable to see it from this side, the more natural side, I'll say. We even saw a couple fossils in last week's episode, so if you missed it, make sure you go and check it out, because it was a great adventure. So let's continue on. We're gonna hike up, and we'll see you probably on the Gap Trail. Oh, just real quick, in part 1 we talked a little bit about the fossils found along Ferncliff Peninsula, and we have found one of the best examples that we've seen yet. From what I read, it seems like most of the fossils you find out here are either from ferns or trees, and you can see this is definitely an ancient tree here. Not sure what kind, but you can definitely tell this was old bark. So yet another fossil find out here on the Ferncliff Trail. Pretty cool. So we're almost to the end of the peninsula, and we will be linking up with the Gap Trail, like I said, probably 3 times already. So let's get going. Alrighty, well, we have made it back upon the Gap Trail. We came from this way. We're going to continue on behind, and I think we'll only be on this trail for maybe a quarter to half of a mile. The main reason we're taking this route is just to see there's another, they call it the High Bridge, that crosses the Youghiogheny on the other side of the peninsula. So we're going to head across there and then catch the Gorge Trail. But yeah, this is one of many Pennsylvania rail trails within the state. And this would have been used by the B&O Rail Company back in the 1800s. They would have brought coal and ore through the area. And now it's a trail with, like I said in the first video, 2 schmucks heading on through.
So the B&O, is that the body odor?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay. From all the hard work that they used to do back in the day. So yeah, we're going to continue on here, cross the High Bridge, and then link up with the Gorge Trail. So we'll see you at the High Bridge. Must be the ghost train of the old B&O Railway. Controversial opinion, I think Ghostbusters 2 is better than Ghostbusters 1.
2 was
Alright, well, as promised, we have made it to the next section of the Gap Trail. This is known as the High Bridge, and I want to say it's around 120 feet up above the Youghiogheny River. So we're going to take you upon this, and then as soon as we get to the end of it, we'll be linking up with the Gorge Trail. So we'll show you some views of the Youghiogheny River here in just a moment. Well, as promised, here we are, pretty much smack dab in the middle of the High Bridge here along the Gap Trail. Some nice views of the Youghiogheny River, as you can see below us, as it meanders its way on through the hillsides of the Laurel Highlands. We're actually looking at the Youghiogheny as it curves around the Ferncliff Peninsula that we just hiked. And I know I said in the first episode, but pretty crazy and remarkable to think that we're standing where those giant locomotives would have traveled through back in the 1800s, carrying coal and iron and who knows what else. But yeah, now we're hiking across and getting these awesome views. I mean, how would you like to come across this bridge back in the 1800s when there was no safety regulations or anything, barreling through in a 100-ton locomotive? I know I probably wouldn't like it too much, but yeah, here's some more views of the Youghiogheny. So let's get going. All right, well, one last look at the High Bridge here along the Gap Trail before we head on to the Great Gorge Trail. And we just took a look at the little pamphlet that they give out at the state park here. It's actually an old tramway, so it should be relatively flat. I believe it's about 1.3 miles until our last stop today, which will be yet another waterfall. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So we'll see you on the Great Gorge Trail. Well, we're not going to waste much time here on the Great Gorge Trail. You can see the High Bridge off in the distance, but it does look like there was an old mine entrance here. And if you look down on the ground, you can see coal pretty much everywhere you look, including this piece in my hand here. So from what we read, there was a mine in the area known as the Keister mine. As funny as that is, who knows, this could have been the entrance or one of the many entrances to the Keister mine. But they would have harvested coal out of the ground here and then hauled it back on a tram to meet up with the railway that would have taken it on down the high bridge. So a little bit of history for you. Pennsylvania is obviously notorious for this black stuff here, but yeah, we're going to continue on, and we got probably about a mile until we get to the next waterfall. So we'll see you there. All right, well, we have reached the end of the Great Gorge Trail, and we have made it to our final destination of the day. This is none other than Cucumber Run here. And if you know anything about Ohiopyle, maybe you read about it, been here, you probably have heard of Cucumber Falls. It's a 30-foot tall waterfall, and we'll be taking you down to the base of it. So just a few hundred feet away from me, that is the tippy top of Cucumber Falls, and you can even see the mighty Youghiogheny River off in the distance. So we're going to take you down there and wrap up the video. So yeah, what a day here at Ohiopyle. But let's get down to the bottom. Alrighty, well, as you can hear and see behind me, we have made it to Cucumber Falls. Here is your first glimpse and possibly the nicest view of the 30-foot tall waterfall that will meander eventually on down to the Youghiogheny River that you see off in the distance there. So if you come here in the summer months, June, July, August, this place is absolutely just crawling with people. And if you want to come here and maybe have a little privacy, experience this place for yourself, I highly recommend coming here in the winter months. We don't really have it today, but if there was a little bit of snow and ice, this place is like a winter wonderland. So yeah, just a little tidbit, but we're going to take you on down and take you pretty much to the base of the waterfall. So we'll see you on down there. All right, well, we have descended on down into the valley. You can see hiking with Ricky up behind me here, but just in front of me, check out this view. There you have it, Cucumber Falls in all of its glory. Doing a little time lapse here, and I think we're going to try to make it up this boulder field and get a little closer, so stay tuned. All right, nice little rock scramble to end the hike here. Yeah, check out those views. Feels like you're in Iceland here. Now we're practically in a cave before heading under this massive waterfall here. So let's go. Try not to fall. And there you have it. We have made it pretty much to the base of Cucumber Falls here in Ohiopyle. Can't beat this. This is one of the best parks in the entire state. I mean, check out this waterfall. Where else are you going to see something like this? So we're going to head on back, and we'll show you a little bit of the Youghiogheny before heading on back to the truck. Well, alrighty, we have made it back to the Youghiogheny River. Cucumber Run is off to my left, and I figured this would be a great time to wrap up the video, since this is basically the furthest point we're going to be hiking today. We have a short hike back to the truck by the visitor center, but yeah, check out some more views of the Youghiogheny River as it surges on through the Laurel Highlands. That's actually the Ferncliff Peninsula we hiked through earlier. So hopefully you guys enjoyed both episodes here from Ohiopyle State Park. Chris from Hiking with Ricky, don't forget to check out his channel. You probably already subscribed to him by now. You've probably seen enough of him by now. But yeah, it was an excellent day, honestly. And I don't say this a lot if you've been following me. This has to be one of the best trails I've ever done. You know, you start off at the Gap Trail, do the Ferncliff, and then loop around the Great Gorge Trail. You can't beat it. So if you're ever in Western Pennsylvania, Ohiopyle region, check this out, because honestly, it's one of my favorite trails I've ever done. It has everything: waterfalls, vistas, wildlife, everything. So yeah, how'd you like it?
Oh, I loved it. Loved it. It's unlike anything I've ever done before, honestly. I've been to so many different state parks, and this has been one I skipped just because of the fact that it's always crowded, but I see why it's crowded now.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, this is always in the top 5, maybe even the top 3 state parks in Pennsylvania, and today we definitely seen why. So yeah, like I said, check out Chris's YouTube if you haven't already, Hiking with Ricky. And don't really know where we're gonna head next for the channel. We do have Ricketts Glen coming up here shortly, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, as always, if you aren't, please hit that subscribe button, like the video, helps us out, and leave us a comment. What's your favorite state park? We'd like to hear from you. All right, well, maybe we'll see you at Ricketts Glen next week. Later, folks.